G'day and welcome back to Sydney, where the temperatures might be dropping, but our innovation is still on fire. Thanks for joining us today, where we're excited to be sharing news across 3 topics, all of which you'll be able to get your hands on almost immediately. First, and a long time in the making, we have a huge update to our DALI control platform. Then we'll show you an all-new digital tool designed to provide expanded ways to personalize our user interfaces more than ever before. And then finally, we'll get a deep dive and walk you through our all-new mobile control app, Dynalite Switch. If you're joining us live on LinkedIn or YouTube, the team is waiting to answer your questions in the chat at any time during the event. And of course, if you miss anything, or you want to recap any of today's announcements, you can get all the details and watch it back on demand at dynalite.com/events. Now, let's head inside and get right into the announcements. Right, let's not waste any more time getting straight into the main topic today. We are thrilled to launch a comprehensive update across our suite of DALI devices. We've taken our time on this because we wanted to bring our partners a complete portfolio to use in projects, rather than drip-feeding devices through over an extended period of time. So today, and with availability from Friday this week, we are launching a refreshed range of DALI controllers, sensors, and dry contact inputs. Each of them brings full DALI 2 compliance, further expanding what you can achieve with the open standards. More devices on the network, streamlined and more robust firmware updates, greater access to data, and improved diagnostics, all at a more competitive price point. So let's head over and hear from Daniel, who's going to take us through the new DALI 2 hardware.
Thanks, Stephen. So this update brings the Dynalite DALI 2 system up to their full multi-master spec. This allows us to be able to list onto the DIA website so that we are shown as full DALI 2 spec for all of our sensors, dry contact input devices, paired with our DALI 2 controllers. So to start with, we have updated our sensor. This is phasing out our previous generation sensor. It is the same size, so completely retrofittable back to the original cutout. We're retaining a lot of the features, so we still have our PIR mask, been able to stop for the anti-trigger detection for doorways. We have our light level receive and our IR receive, all onto the same device. It still sits inside the same form factor, so very robust and very useful. The other feature that we've added in is that it is now going to be supported from surface mount with an additional accessory, so these will be supplied together, allowing for the recess mount to now be turned into a surface mount device. Once we have this, it is very simple for us to be able to then locate the mounting plate onto the ceiling and then place the sensor straight onto that mounting plate. So a very flexible, very versatile system. Other features are that we're able to support this in both black and white finish, so both for the surface mounting and also for the recess mount. An additional feature that we've brought into this portfolio is for custom finishes. We're always being asked, can we make the sensor brown or blue? We now have an additional plate which can be purchased separately. This plate can be painted any which color that the project requires, and then we'll simply locate directly onto the sensor. And then once that's on, this is the custom finish which they can have. So this really gives the whole system a lot of flexibility and backwards compatibility. So depending about what the site wants to do, we have very few components which can be mixed and matched in multiple combinations to achieve their requirements. So we have our recess mounted housing, which can be located straight into our surface mounted housing. Once that's located, we have our mounting ring, which will attach to the ceiling. And then this can be located onto that, straight onto the ceiling. Additionally, this can be custom painted to any finish that the project is looking for and can be paired with our custom surface. So once this is painted any color that the project is looking for, it then locates directly onto the fascia of the sensor and can then be mounted straight onto the ceiling. This allows us to empower the project to be able to allow the sensor to be any color that they choose and that they can make that on-site decisions. We can still adjust our mask and allow this to be adjusted for our PIR anti-triggering. So we have the sensor available in black. It's very important to see that we have a black lens with a black fascia, so it's completely camouflaged, and paired with our black surface mounting, allowing us to match the interior aesthetics of any project. Paired with this, we also have a new dry contact input interface. This is following the same mechanical design as we have for our Dynalite variant. With this here, it is meant to be able to sit inside a wall box, so we can cable tie it to the back and have our pluggable dry contact input interfaces straight to 5 switches. So the combination of a new DALI 2 sensor and dry contact input interface allows us to be able to fully spec the DALI 2 system and approach the multi-master requirements that our projects are looking for. So this is our DALI 2 dry contact input interface. It is 5 dry contact inputs available on the end of these fly leads. It is modeled after our Dynalite variant, so we have our plug lead here, which can be removed, and then this device can be fitted inside a wall box. We have some cable tie holes that will allow for this to be secured. Once that's done, then the fly lead clicks back in, allowing for a simple and quick install to be disassembled. We have our DALI terminals at the top, allowing for a loop in, loop out to the next device. These devices will be available in single units or in a cost down pack of 5. To support this, we're also updating our DDBC 120-DALI. So this is a new device, and this will allow us to be able to support the new generation of DALI controllers, as well be backwards compatible to the existing portfolio. The existing DDBC 320-DALI, the one with the Ethernet port, will require a firmware update, which will be available on our support website. And once that firmware update has been applied, this will then support our new DALI 2 generation sensors. This is the updated DDBC 120-DALI. So it brings it in line with the current generation housing. So we have our sign-in and network indicator at the top. We still have access to our manual override and our pluggable Dynalite interface. Everything else about the device is practically the same, but this is the device that is necessary for supporting the new generation DALI 2 sensors. Bringing the system up to the DALI 2 standard means that we've had all of our devices independently certified by the DALI organization, DIIA. This means that our sensors are meeting Part 303 and 304 of the DALI standard, which is a specification very common within projects asking that the system be able to support. The new generation DALI 2 sensors are supporting the DALI Part 303 and 304, which is an industry standard that the projects are specifying and looking for. With our new dry contact input device, this is supporting DALI 302. So again, this is all falling within industry standards, allowing us to be able to claim that certification, but also meeting the expectations from the project that this is a full multi-master system. Now, the devices have all been engineered together so that they are a complete ecosystem, so that they're intended to be paired together, making sure that we have that stability and consistency going into projects, making sure that we know that these components are going to work together and be able to deliver those expectations that projects are looking for. So very much being able to go to the marketplace and saying that anything with a Dynalite logo and a DALI logo has been tested, developed and certified together to make sure that they will deliver on time and on site without any hesitation. This is a huge feature of us being able to bring this entire ecosystem to the market and making sure that we can win confidence in our ability to deliver project complexity. Other aspects of the system is that we are now able to support 40 devices on a single DALI network. So with a system that is without any drivers due to the power restrictions, being able to have 40 sensors on a single network is a huge achievement. Yes, there are the addressing limitations, but it is more of the system's ability to deliver power. This has been achieved because of the sensor's extremely low power consumption. So with that low power consumption, this allows us to be able to achieve huge ratios of, say, between 26 sensors and 34 drivers on a single DALI network, getting very close to a 1:2 ratio. This really allows us to be able to deliver a high density of sensors onto a single network, that bringing in any design constraints there may be in designing the system for the luminaires and sensor ratios.
Fantastic, Daniel. Thanks for sharing all the details about the new DALI 2 hardware. And this portfolio will continue to expand further in the future with new form factors of sensor and more. So make sure you stay tuned to our future events. Now, great hardware takes great software to commission, troubleshoot, and update. So let's hear more now from Sivram, our long-term system expert and testing colleague, and now stepping into the role of Dynalite software portfolio owner. Congratulations on the new role, Sivram. Let's hear all about the software updates for DALI 2.
Thank you, Stephen, for having me in this event. And thanks, Daniel, for the wonderful introduction you gave about our DALI 2 portfolio. Hello, everyone. I'm Shivram, the product owner for Dynalite Systems. And I'm very excited to talk about our DALI 2 portfolio. I would say the wait is finally over. Our DALI controllers are now multi-masters, and our DALI devices are DALI 2 certified. They are now listed in the DALI Alliance portal. This is a significant milestone for us. It not only strengthens interoperability, but also ensures that our products adhere to the industry standards, that thus giving confidence to our customers to build reliable and flexible systems. Our devices are engineered to work in a highly scaled system, not compromising on any of the performance attributes. It's a complete ecosystem that market can depend on building reliable and scalable systems. Daniel has already taken you through the hardware side of the story. Now, let me walk you through the changes in the software in System Builder that ensures there is backward compatibility, as well as the changes to support the new DALI 2 devices.
In the upcoming release of System Builder, a new DALI property called DALI Device Mode is added for both DDBC 320 and DDBC 120. By default, DALI 2 devices will be selected if the controller is configured as the DALI 2 controller. And the commissioning engineer can toggle the setting if the network is using the previous versions of our DALI sensors or DALI dry contacts. They are marked as Dynalite-D devices. Also, using change device type, the user can select legacy DALI controllers or that supports DALI 2. There will be two options for every DALI controller, and you can choose according to your network. We can have a total of 40 DALI 2 devices under one universe. That can be a mix of sensors and dry contacts, or we can just have 40 sensors. But for dry contacts, we have a maximum limit of 16 per universe. For a DDBC 320, it can support up to 120 sensors, provided no drivers are connected in the three universes. The main advantage of supporting DALI 2 devices is the bulk firmware upgrade feature. Earlier, it used to take 20 to 25 minutes per sensor or per DALI device for firmware upgrade. The new DALI 2 firmware upgrade can upgrade all devices in parallel and can be completed within an hour or so. System Builder will show an estimated time of completion once firmware upgrade is selected based on the number of devices in the network. Once you start the firmware upgrade, that process can happen in the background and the user can continue with other commissioning activities in System Builder. System Builder can show the progress of firmware upgrade in the system view. At any point of time, we can monitor the progress, what's happening and how much more to go. One more advantage that we have now is once a firmware upgrade is done, System Builder will highlight the failures if there were any. This makes it easy for future troubleshooting. One important point, as Daniel mentioned earlier, We cannot mix old and new DALI sensors or dry contacts under one universe or under one controller.
That's all I have to share today. Thanks for your time. Over to you, Stephen.
Very nice. Thanks, Sivi. And a huge thanks to our whole team who've worked so hard to bring this comprehensive platform update together. From electrical to mechanical, firmware, software, and compliance. It was a huge task to release all of these products together on the same day. In both recessed and surface mount. In white and black finishes, these discrete sensors are perfect for a whole range of commercial applications. Our new dry contact input device allows you to easily integrate third-party switches and devices onto the DALI bus using the same unified wiring. And both of them work seamlessly with our refreshed DALI controllers. They bring DALI 2 input support, which can now support up to 40 Dynalite DALI 2 input devices on a single universe. Our factory here in Sydney has been hard at work building up stock over the last weeks. So these devices will be available for you to order from this Friday. Remember, if you're joining us live on LinkedIn or YouTube, the team is waiting to answer your questions in the chat at any time during the event. And in case you miss anything or you want to watch back in demand, get the spec sheets on our new Dynalite DALI 2 portfolio, just head over to dynalite.com/events. All right, let's change topic now and take a look at a new tool that's also been a long time in the making. All the different families of Dynalite user interfaces offer beautiful new ways to provide end users, guests, and residents with unified control over lighting, climate control, fans, drapery, and more. Plus, the new finish ranges, including the beautiful new metallic PVD materials and multi-gang frames that we launched at the start of this year, help you to create elegant panels which complement and enhance any interior design. So today, we're delighted to launch an all-new version of the Dynalite Design Studio. It's designed to help you quickly and intuitively visualize all of the different combinations you can make with our panel families and all of the finishes they're available in. It'll help you to show your customers and then create factory-ready artwork where you can add your choice of text, icons, and other engraving that comes straight into the factory. So let's jump in and take a look through all the new features that are possible and what it brings to you. So first of all, what you'll see is there's a brand new tab up the top in my Dynalite called Studio. And here I can see the most recent design configurations I've used, a shortcut to the most recently created panels, so I can quickly go back and open one of those to edit it, and some buttons to view all my saved designs and projects or to start a brand new design. So let's do that. We'll click on a brand new design and jump into the configuration window. So here we are in the configuration wizard, and this will help guide us through all of the different panel combinations that we can create, starting with our regional format, where for this example, I'm going to pick a European panel. Then we can see the families that are available within the European range. And for this one, I want to try and create one of the new combinations to show you the full power. So we'll go ahead and pick Revolution as our family here. And then I want to create a multi-gang configuration to show you how multiple modules can be edited at once. So in this case, I will pick a double gang panel. And then I can decide where to save my panel design. So I'm going to pick Kai's house and create some panels here. And now we can jump straight into the canvas. So here on the canvas, I can see what I created in the configuration wizard, which is a European double gang Revolution panel. But I didn't yet pick what kind of modules are going to go in. What you can see here is for each of the available module slots, I can choose whether it's a button, a display, or an accessory. And where displays have fixed locations, the configuration options will change to show me exactly the supported configurations that are available. To show you all of the engraving options, I'm going to create a double button here. So I'll just click on button in both of these modules and it will fill that in for me. Now, what you can see here is that I now have even more choices that I've made this configuration. First of all, just under the panel in the middle, I can customize the color and finish material of the panel I've created. So it's going to default here to Prestige in our new PVD finish. And I also have the choice for these two modules to choose how many buttons are available here. So on the right-hand side, I've selected our 2-button configuration. And what you can see on the left-hand side is that there are actually even more options that are available here before. So you can now pick between 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8-button configurations exclusively here in the Design Studio. And once I've done that, each of the available engraving areas, regardless in Revolution of the button configuration, you can actually use all of the backlit areas. Of course, you most likely would leave some blank when you have something like a 2-button configuration, but they're all available for you to select. So you can pick the exact placement and configuration that you would like. So let's pick on one of these. So I can click on this little dotted engraving area. And once I've done that, it gives me all of the different options that I can pick in this area. So it can be text only, icon only, and text or icon in a left or a right-handed configuration. Or of course I can leave it blank and choose no labeling. I can also choose where to position the text or the icon that's inside this engraving zone with a left, center, or right orientation and a middle, top, or bottom orientation. So let me go ahead here and pick icon, and it will open up the new icon library picker. So here you can see that with tabs across the top to look at all of the different categories of icons that are available by default. So general, lighting, areas, some dedicated ones for hotels, and more. And then simply by clicking on an icon underneath, you can place it into the engraving area on the top of the design. We do recognize, though, of course, that although we're continually expanding our icon library, some people want custom icons that match their brand or just have a different function than perhaps is in the library. So we now support custom icons here, and you can place them anywhere. We've included guidelines and a template so you can create your own SVG vector files. And once you've uploaded them, they will exist in your library here in the custom tab. So here, for example, are a few that I have uploaded before, and I'll pick one of those to put on the panel. Now we'll skip forward a little bit and show you what it looks like when I've filled out all the engraving on this module on the left-hand side. So I've got a nice mixture of icons and text. And what I didn't show, but you'll discover, is that the text can now be customized into different fonts, and we also support multiple languages there as well. And that's even possible on multiple lines. So if you have 2 lines of text on an icon and you want one in English and one in another language, such as Mandarin, you'll be able to select that by line or by part of the text as well for maximum flexibility. Now, I want to show you a different type of panel because there's one that was never previously possible to put labeling on, but has been in the Design Studio for a little while. So this then is our Antumbra display panel. And you can see here that even this has many different areas in which I can engrave with both text or a combination of text and icons. Similar to the Revolution panel, I simply click on these areas to select them, decide what kind of content I'd like to, which will be sometimes text, icons, or a combination of both, depending on the size of the engraving area. And then I will be able to configure it exactly as I did on the Revolution example. And of course, being an Antumbra panel, you can also rotate this, installing it in either a portrait or a landscape orientation. So we have this extra button now that I've selected an Antumbra down the bottom. Let me click and I can simply rotate this panel. And you can see now that it's been rotated, the engraving areas change a little bit and the options that were available suit the size and orientation of the spaces that are left. That's a quick example. There are many more configurations that you can create. Users that don't already have a Dynalite account can create one simply online for free. And they, along with everybody else, will be able to create panels in the Design Studio and then come back and access them for future reference, share them with you as they need production, and create whole collections for a property, a project, or your building. And once you've created them, you'll be able to see them inside projects too, under this new tab called Panel Designs. We're really excited for you to try out the new Design Studio, and we have lots more ideas to evolve it further over time. So please share your feedback and requests to help us shape that direction, and stay tuned to future events for more details. Now, last month we released an all-new mobile app for iOS and Android phones, Dynalite Switch. Switch is designed to provide a beautiful interface using the Dynalite Array design language to help you control and fine-tune the lighting and space control in homes and small businesses. It works whether you're there locally or now remotely with support from Dynalite Cloud. Let's head over to Phil for a walkthrough of all the amazing new and updated features, as well as to look at how you can create and deploy projects that are ready for control via Switch.
Thanks, Stephen. Okay, I'm really pleased to be able to present the Dynalite Switch app. It's been out for a few weeks now. The team are already working on improvements, and yeah, let's jump straight into it. So you get the app, you go to your app store, you download the app, just search Dynalite Switch. Now both apps, Apple and Android, are developed in parallel, so the features are synchronized. So if there's a feature in one, it will be available in the other. When you open the app, it takes you to this page, which is a login page. Two options. You've got the demo, which is a demo file. You can run that without having an account. And then you've got Get Started, which you will then log in. So the user logs into their account. The first page they'll see is this one, which is Select a Project. Now, if they've only got the one project, obviously there'll only be one listed there. If they've got multiple projects, then they'll see all the projects they have been attached to here, and they can select one. Then when you select it, it will download it. So that once it's downloaded from the cloud, then you see the cloud icon, and the tick means that is the one that has been selected. So once you do that, you click the back arrow at the top, and it will take you to the home page. Now, there's not much going on the home page at the moment, but we will get to the macros and a thing called favorites in a minute. So the first thing there is connected. That is saying it's connected locally. So the app has gone through its Wi-Fi connection, it's put a call out, it's identified the gateway, it's recognized it from the project, and it has connected to it. If it doesn't do that on the Wi-Fi, then it will reach through the Wi-Fi to the cloud, or it'll go through your 5G to the cloud, and you will get your remote connection. So it will say that detail on the home page. Now, the first page I'm going to start with is Spaces. So just following on with the connectivity, you can see there I've highlighted in the top right, there's a tick box. That means that the app is connected to the project. This is a list of spaces. Now you can have it a flat list like this, or you can group things into folders in System Builder, and then they will be visualized in folders here. Here you can see we've got multiple services. I'm getting information from the UI on the temperature, and I'm getting the status from the different services, from the lighting, from the HVAC, from the ceiling fans, from the drapery. If I go into one of those apps, you can see here, into one of those spaces, you can see in the dining room, there are my presets. I've got my channel level control. If I scroll down, I've got my services control for the different services. So everything in the one place here. Interestingly, we've got this pen icon. This is an edit icon. If you click on that, it will take you to this page. Now, clicking on any of these presets will open the preset editor. So here I can choose, I've got a tunable white icon here, well actually a color picker here. but we've got color picker, tunable white, or channel levels. I can edit the name of the preset here. As you can see, there's a pen at the top there for party, and if I say save, it will save that scene to the system and it will save that scene in the app. If I go and then press sync, which I'll show you in a second, then that will sync that data back to the project file. So if you do have to open the project file in System Builder at a later date, that is the preset levels that you will see. As I said, the home page, it contains very little initially, but we can customize it. So here I'm talking about macros. Obviously, I click the Add Macro button. That will then take me to a page where I can name the macro. I can set its behaviors. So adding in actions, I've got multiple actions here. If I do recall lighting scene, then I can select which areas are going to be involved in that macro. And I set the scenes for each of those areas. I say save. There is the list of the behaviors for that macro. And there it exists. So it's now on my page and I can build macros up there. The other thing I can do is add what are called favorites. If I go back to my edit buttons inside one of my areas, one of my spaces, and I click on that, we have these little star icons. If I click the star icon, then that will appear on my favorites page. And if I click the pen icon, I can edit this locally. So if I wanted to remove any of those at any point, I can do. I don't have to add all the scenes. So here in the garage, I've only added 2, but it will make them all visible. So the third page on the app is the settings. Here I can do a few things. I can change the project if I'm part of multiple projects. I can customize the appearance, which means I can change the home page image that's used in the background for the home page, or I can take a photograph, or I can use a photograph from a library, so I can personalize that home page. I can also choose the language. Currently we've got 13 languages on here. I can pick that. That will then change the language on the app. Remembering that, of course, scenes, area space names and channel names all come from the System Builder file. So if they've already been done in the local language, then they will obviously match up. So that is a quick run through of the Dynalite Switch. Download the app, explore with it. As I said, you can see the demo file, so you can test out what features are already in there. So the Switch app, you create the project file, you upload the project file to the cloud, and then you can load it into the app. What you can also do with the project file, as many of you are probably already aware, is you can create areas as visible or hidden. If you go into an area and you set its properties category to hidden, then it will not be visible in the Dynalite Switch app. Now you can do this for an individual area, or you can do this en masse, so you can select multiple areas at the same time and set that property, save that into the project file, save that into the cloud, and these areas will not be visible in the Switch app. That's for areas that you're not necessarily going to want to need to control from the app. So you can also do that for individual scenes. Same thing, you go to the area, you select the scene that you want to hide away, and you set it to hidden, and then it is no longer visible in the app. Set it to hidden here, as you can see. And quick preview of the app here. For the garden, I made low hidden, and now you can't see it on the preset selector. Now, for setting up the user for the account, even if they're not using remote connectivity, the project file is in the cloud. They need to be able to load the file onto their device, which means that they need to have a My Dynalite app user account. So if you go into My Dynalite, go into your account, go to your projects, select the project that you're working on, you go to authorizations, and then you click add user, and you add the user as a mobile app user, and then that user will get an email telling them they've been added to the project, and if they don't already have an account, then they can set up an account here.
Thanks, Phil. The new Switch app is looking excellent. So today, we were delighted to announce 3 new innovations. A major update to our DALI controls platform with full DALI 2 compliance certified by the DIIA. We shared new sensors in surface and recessed, black and white options, with accessories to help you customize and use them in ever more locations. A new dry contact capture device with 5 inputs that allows you to easily integrate third-party switches and devices onto the unified DALI bus. We showed you a new DDBC 120 single universe DALI controller and a firmware update to our existing DDBC 320 3-universe DALI controller. Both of them now bringing true multi-master features, supporting up to 40 Dynalite DALI 2 input devices per universe. That's up to 120 in total for the DDBC 120. And Sivaram shared enhanced software support for DALI 2, with new programming options and DALI diagnostics built into the latest version of System Builder. The great news is that all of these updates will be available to order from this Friday, the 26th of June, with shipments starting in July. Next, we launched a fully refreshed version 2 of the Dynalite Design Studio. This helps you create new combinations of our panels with rich visualizations to help you show all of the possibilities to your customers. You can build new multi-gang revolution panels, use our new hybrid metallized finishes, and customize engraving across all of our panels with a wider range of locations than ever before. And you can have multi-language engraving, ideal for hospitality venues and hotels, helping their international visitors to intuitively control the services Dynalite powers in their guest rooms and suites. The new design studio is built right into My Dynalite, allowing you to store, edit, and recall panels embedded into the projects you create. End users and designers who want to try out different panel combinations can now register for a simple free Dynalite account, getting access to just the studio tools. The new design studio launches today, so check it out at my.dynalite.com and click on the studio link at the top right after this event. And finally, we deep dived into our recently launched Switch mobile app. This brings beautiful, intuitive control of your home or small business right to the device you already have in your pocket. Lighting, climate, drapery, and more controls are presented in our beautiful Array user interface. With Switch, you can now control both locally over Wi-Fi or remotely via the Dynalite Cloud when you're away. And the app is available to download today, free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Plus, there's a demo mode you can check out before setting up new projects. Thanks to everybody who took the time to join us for today's event. If you're in the live stream, our team will remain online for the next 30 minutes to answer any additional questions you might have, and you can always find more details on these and our other announcements at dynalite.com/events. We hope you enjoyed the event and these new releases, and that they'll help us build ever smarter commercial, hospitality, and residential projects together. We'll see you back for another event in the autumn. Keep an eye out on dynalite.com and our monthly newsletters for more. Until then, take care, and we'll see you soon.